Ho, 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 ho. Welcome to Patchwork.
Is a voucher an appropriate gift for a Kris Kringle? Well, if this is a question that's ever crossed your mind, then you're in good company. We'll be sharing stories from our past and even performing a live sketch or two. So deck the halls, grab your tinsel, set your grandmother and grandfather ablaze, and join me, Dion, under the covers along with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork.
Now, guys, before we get started, I just wanted to take our minds back to, it would have been about a year ago now for some Christmas shopping.
Happy birthday.
Where I went to JB Hi-Fi and had a lovely exchange with a sales attendant there. And I regaled us all with the story of me pretty much falling in love with this girl who I had a 20-second interaction with, only to be shattered by coming back a month later and her having no memory of who I was and being completely disinterested in me.
Yep.
It happened again.
Really?
The same girl?
No, new girl, Officeworks girl this time.
Oh, no. And they're usually much more forgiving, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
So I went to see her regarding a Google Home to get a price match thing. Anyway, we just chatted for like a couple minutes. Lovely chat. She was really cool. Left, came back today, actually. I went into the store. There was another attendant there. I said, I'm just picking up this order. So she went off to get it. Then the original girl starts walking up. The original and the best. She walks up and I give her the eyes. They're like, oh, hey, sort of thing. And she looked at me like, hey. And there was that moment, and I've had it myself, where you could see the brain ticking, almost beads of sweat going, who is this guy? Why does he recognize me? Why does he recognize me? Who is he?
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I got it for the cheaper price. She's like, oh, yeah. And I was like, yeah, great. And I'm just going, you don't know who I am.
How much does it suck that she didn't remember you?
Yeah.
It is the most ego-crushing experience to have someone forget your existence.
But I've worked retail and I know how many customers you go through that just disappear from your mind straight away.
What about those kids at school that you don't remember either? Like there was some ghost kids at school. It's like, who the hell were they? There's this guy at school called Zeno. Apparently we went to school with him for 3 years. Had no idea who he was.
And then he went off to his home planet.
But at the graduation ceremony, I must leave for Sector Z. All right, Zeno, please step off.
It's that horrible feeling of feeling like you're someone of significance, you're unique, and people just forget you. And Josh, you're tall, good-looking, strapping.
I think, but I reckon if I'd said to her...
Wait a second, sorry, Josh, 1 second.
You have a problem with the word strapping?
I've got a problem with the word strapping to describe Josh.
Really?
Is Josh strapping? No, I agree with Josh is attractive.
Yep. Thank you.
Tick. Bing.
Yeah.
I agree that Josh is tall.
Yep.
But strapping kind of tends to... If someone's strapping, I'm thinking that they've got the muscular tonnage of a horse.
Do you think there's something about your personality that needs to be strapping? Because Josh, his personality is not strapping.
No, not at all.
No.
Just being assaulted again.
No, not at all.
I got accused about my bloody style last week from you, Christian, and now you're having a go about my strappability.
I figured Josh is too fickle to be strapping. I feel like someone who's strapping isn't fickle.
Can I say that someone who plays video games is not strapping? But listen, you're attractive. If someone's describing you as attractive, let it go.
I'll take strapping as well. Why can't I want more?
What would you rather, strapping or attractive?
Probably attractive.
What would you rather, cute or sexy?
Or everyone rather sexy.
Beautiful or gorgeous?
Gorgeous is objectively one step above beautiful.
Is it?
Absolutely.
No, beautiful's a little more wholesome. I think I want beautiful.
Really? Then gorgeous? Yeah, you're right.
Because beautiful is like an objective thing. Like, he was beautiful. Like, fuck.
Or what about he was sexy? Would you like to be called sexy?
I don't think anyone's ever described me as sexy. And I would
Except
one
for
day...
Cleo magazine.
Except for one day.
Sexiest wog on the planet. One day.
It's going to happen, isn't it?
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to...
You'll be an Officeworks employee and you'll bloody love it.
I'm just going to join Zeno on whatever planet he's on.
So this is our Christmas patch. So we'll be exploring all things Christmas. I love Christmas time. It's always a fun time of year. Everyone's got a lot of people got a bit of time off. You see your family. I really like Christmas. How's your Christmas, Christian?
Yeah, I think it's about the same. It's kind of that whole everyone in the family has time off, which is so rare.
Yeah.
You get to spend it together, and it's a lot of fun. Everyone's in that jovial mood.
Yeah.
And we all come together.
And Dion, how's your Christmas been for your entire life?
So my Christmas as a practicing Orthodox Jew, my Christmas is non-existent and was non-existent up until 5 years ago when I met my girlfriend who's not Jewish. But on Christmas Day at our house...
You can't even say the word.
On Christmas Day at our house, there was nothing to do. And I think my family almost made a point of doing nothing as a point of kind of difference.
Okay, so I'll come and be honest here and say that I thought that Hanukkah was on the same day as Christmas. I thought that it was celebrated together. So the Jewish culture, the same day that we had Christmas, you'd be celebrating Hanukkah.
So the Jews follow a different calendar. It's like a different calendar to our BC AD. That's probably the only thing I know about Judaism, but it's a different calendar. So
what year are you in?
So it's like 4,000 and something.
What?
Yeah, we're double, almost over double. But one thing that's really interesting is because they don't align, then Hanukkah falls on a different day or different days every year because Hanukkah goes for 8 days. But I was actually thinking that I could, I was doing some preparation for the show. I kind of thought, look, I can talk about Hanukkah a little bit, but why not turn to a friend of mine that will know lots and lots more about Hanukkah? So I'm going to call a friend.
I have no idea what Hanukkah is, by the way.
Yeah,
I think
neither do I.
Yeah.
The menorah is the candle thing, isn't it?
The menorah?
What's the candle thing?
Well, you're asking me?
Yeah.
My name is Christian.
Shalom, Patchworkers.
Daniel, shalom for you guys.
Shalom, Dion.
For you guys, that means...
Yoshua. Shalom, Chaim.
Daniel, slow down.
So, Daniel, we were just talking about my experience of not having ever celebrated Christmas up until 5 years ago. But I wanted to get from you a bit of a rundown of what the hell Hanukkah is and why I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, you probably don't know anything about it because you're probably one of the shittest Jews that I know. And why you thought that I'm your best Jewish friend or possibly your friend that knows the most about Judaism when I've read more Hitchens and Dawkins than I have Moses or Maimonides. But I'm happy to field a few questions about Hanukkah. What did you want to know?
Well, Josh, you had a question, didn't you?
I literally have no idea what it is.
Basically, it's a Jewish holiday held over around December. It changes every year, but it's always around Christmas time. And it was really only invented as a holiday about 100 or 200 years ago because American Jews felt left out when all their Gentile friends were having fun over Christmas.
That's right.
So they basically just picked a random holiday around December.
Just join in with them if they're having a great time.
So, Daniel, it's called the Festival of Lights, right?
Yes, that's correct. Basically, the story goes that the Greeks conquered the land of Israel with Alexander the Great and ruled over the land of Israel for, I don't know, like a couple of hundred years or something.
Someone remind Daniel, this is a comedy podcast.
Well, give me a second.
He's got his lines sorted out.
After about 200 years, a bunch of Jews decided that they were sick of all this philosophy and athletics and really wanted to go back to basically not eating pork and cutting our children's penises.
Yeah.
And so they staged a rebellion, massacred all the Greeks, and basically rid them from the land of Israel. And the reason they call it the Festival of Lights is when they reclaimed the Jewish temple. In the temple, there's a menorah, which is an eight-headed candle, and they would use oil to light it. And as the story goes, they only found enough oil to last 1 day, but somehow it managed to last for 8 days. Oh. And therefore, you had a miracle. And so we celebrate Hanukkah, and We commemorate it by lighting a candle every day for 8 days. And then we also eat jelly donuts. Does anyone want to ask me why we do that?
Daniel, why do you eat jelly donuts?
I have no fucking idea. And I promise you no Jew can give you a straight answer as to why we do it.
And Daniel, one really important question I wanted to ask. Do you, in your family, do you give gifts as part of Hanukkah?
So we're supposed to, and that's supposed to be the best bit. It's like, oh, the Christians get Christmas.
Yeah.
And they get these awesome gifts, but we get gifts for 8 days. I remember when I was about 6 or 7, I got a Michelangelo Ninja Turtle, and that is fucking it.
Did he have a yarmulke on his head?
I've not gotten a single Hanukkah present since then, but we do get to eat the donuts, which is always good fun.
Awesome, Daniel. Well, that's cleared up a hell of a lot for us. We really appreciate you allowing us to call you whilst you're, through coughs. You sound very ill, don't you, Daniel?
Yeah, not feeling great, but I'm happy to be on the show, fellas.
And Christian just has one parting gift for you.
Daniel, go and conquer your Greek girlfriend.
Shabbat shalom, boys.
Shabbat shalom, Daniel.
Thanks,
See
Daniel.
ya.
Now, hearing about the miracle that was based off, I think the Jewish people need to reevaluate what they consider a miracle. Because on one side, we've got the virgin birth. On the other side, we've got, these candles burnt for a while.
So, guys, I'm really interested in what you do when you wake up in the morning, because when I woke up on Christmas Day, it was just literally another day, but I knew it would be extra boring because nothing would be open, so I couldn't even leave the house. And then I think 6 years ago, my parents decided to have a lunch, and we were like, let's have seafood on Christmas Day and let's try and make a family thing of it. But Christian, what is your morning like of Christmas? When do you celebrate Christmas? Is it at lunch? Is it for dinner? It's lunch, right?
No, not at all. Christmas is an all-day affair. So from the moment, for me as a child growing up, Christmas started the night before because I wouldn't sleep.
Yeah.
From nerves about whether I'd be able to hear Santa Claus coming in or whether I'd see the reindeer outside. I used to look out my window trying to catch them through the sky. This is the kind of shit that I bought into. And then we'd wake up, my sister and I. So we were big fans of Mr. Bean. And Mr. Bean in his Christmas holiday episode would get out of bed and he would jump up and down on the spot and kind of swing his hands around. And we would emulate that every single Christmas and run into each other's rooms back and forth until we're absolutely exhausted. And then go downstairs and then find our Christmas sacks full of gifts.
Saxophone, Christmas saxophone. I've heard a lot about it.
We'd play a couple of Christmas songs and then we'd open our presents. But we'd have these big sacks full of gifts, and that would be from Santa. And then Mum and Dad would have also bought us presents.
Yeah. And who got the better presents? Did Santa usually buy the better presents, or your parents did, or how did it work?
Before we go on, Dion, just so we're clear as well, that Santa was Christian's parents. So just in case.
What?
Yeah. No. Santa's a separate entity, and the Rudolph Deers, aren't they the
Rudolph Deers?
Santa and the Rudolph Deers.
New band from the 50s, played the saxophone. Well, my Christmas morning is very similar to yours, Christian. When I was a kid, we had pillowcases, which were our Santa sacks. They were like Christmas-themed ones.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And they would sit at the foot of our bed. So we'd be lying awake. I used to share a room with my brother. I have 2 older brothers. The one who's closer to me, Eden, we'd share a room.
Closer in age?
Yeah, so there's 2 years gap. And then we would be trying to get to sleep. And then there was this thing in the morning. I remember it so clearly. We had a thing you couldn't get up before 9. So Mum and Dad were like, you have to stay in bed till 9. You can't get up before 9. Which now as an adult, they're like, good idea, good rule. Yeah. And so we had this thing where I'd wake up maybe 7 o'clock or something, and I knew that if I looked down at my gifts, I just wouldn't be able to get back to sleep. Yeah. So I had to lie in bed going, don't look at the gifts, just try and go back to sleep. And as soon as I looked, my brain just started running about what it could be. I'm like, oh, what's that? That's a big box. That could be, oh my God, I shouldn't have looked. Wow. And then, so we would go down and then open them on Mum and Dad's bed when we were allowed to. But if there was ever a big gift like a bike or something, there would be a streamer running from your Santa sack into the other room where the big gift was that was unwrapped. It was just there.
So good.
Yeah, so we used to follow the streamer.
So your parents didn't do food well, but they did one day of the year really well. That's lovely. That sounds like they nailed that. So was there a point, do you remember a particular point of transition where you realised that this was all bullshit? Like, do you remember that moment? Because I remember with the Tooth Fairy, that's my equivalent. The Tooth Fairy used to come down the chimney with soot all over itself. But that was my sort of make-believe character.
But were you ever sort of sad when you found that out or anything? Or you know what I mean?
No, not at all. I guess it happened up until 5 years ago where I didn't know any better. I guess
sorry. I'm talking about the Tooth Fairy.
I think it's just really risky of your parents to put the sack of your gifts in your bedroom.
Yeah.
It makes it such a precarious mission for them to have to stuff the sack with gifts.
You have to be really well trained, like putting a bit of food in front of a dog and going, wait.
No, it's more about getting them in there. That's what you're talking about, special ops. About the Mission Impossible.
Because knowing kids, that night there, any sound, I would hear a tree... I was about to say, I'd hear a tree fall outside. I'd hear a branch break. And I would be super alert. I'd be ready to look at whatever was coming.
But I absolutely not once ever heard my parents come in and drop the gifts off. Ever. So I don't know if they just did it like super late or something. So like we were definitely asleep or what?
Or Rohypnol.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Jeez, the dinner we had was really yummy.
More turkey,
before.
Josh?
Yeah. Have some wine, 6-year-old boy.
That's what they called you. They didn't call each other
6-year-old boy.
And where's 8-year-old boy? He's the closest in age.
Oh, God. So you'd wake up, gifts would be distributed. Would you sing Christmas carols? Was that a thing?
No,
not at all.
Really?
Although
this is great because Dion's version of Christmas is probably going to be what film and television. No, you haven't seen a lot of films though. So I've got no idea. But like popular culture, the way that's informed you is probably your idea of Christmas.
Yeah. So my idea of Christmas is at 12 o'clock, all your family comes around. There's a turkey the size of a house in the middle of the table. There are bonbons on each thing, and then you eat, and a couple hours later, everyone's drunk, and you sing Christmas carols, and then you go to church.
We didn't sing Christmas carols, but my mum, every single year, without a doubt, would put on the same Mariah Carey Christmas CD.
All I want for Christmas.
It was the single. The whole day.
Honestly, Josh, yes, it was.
So did she really like Mariah Carey? Is that why she put it on?
loves that song. And the thing is that she also loves Christmas. So we would be in Christmas mode from the 1st of December. 1st of December, the tree, the ornaments, everything came out to be set up.
I always wondered whether there's someone in the world that has wished someone else Merry Christmas the earliest. There's the first person in the world. Is it like mid-July with like Merry Christmas? The person like, what? What the hell?
Just getting in early.
But like the tree, when's that meant to go up? Is that like, isn't that like 1st of December? Is that bullshit?
I feel December's good. Like start of December, get everything up. But on the wishing someone happy Christmas and Merry New Year, as they say, I reckon it's also dependent on how soon you're going to see them again. So I did this something earlier towards the end of November, and I saw people. I only see those people once a year, and so we're all, when we said goodbye, wishing each other happy Christmas, happy New Year.
Josh, did you wish him happy birthday and happy Easter as well?
But I don't. I see them once a year, and that's it's. I think that's close enough.
So wishing someone a Merry Christmas that far from Christmas is the equivalent of someone having their birthday party 3 weeks after their birthday.
Yeah, you can't do it.
Before is way better than after,
if
mate.
someone rocks up to if you have a birthday party 3 weeks on and someone comes and goes, happy birthday. No, it's not. It's not your birthday anymore.
It's the next one.
Just like,
they're getting it very early.
Just like it's not Christmas.
No, I think I'm with you for the after effect. That's fine. Because I think once the day's gone, then it completely changes it. But I think, it's 5 weeks. I don't think 5 weeks is unreasonable.
It's very hard, Christian, to pick someone up on it, though. Like, imagine if I said to you, have a Happy New Year, Christian, and you didn't agree with it, you'd be like, no, I'm not going to.
What are you saying?
So you wish them Happy New Year back?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there was
Merry
no
Christmas,
awkwardness?
Happy New Year. No, because it's like we're getting into the festive season.
See, we're doing it again, exchanging pleasantries without any thought being given to it at all.
There is thought. It's like, hey, I'm not going to see you closer to Christmas, so have a great time at Christmas with your family and your friends.
How does that fucking change anything to do with their Christmas Day? Are they going to wake up in the morning?
You're making out like every single word every human being says to another needs to have lasting impact and effect on them.
Then don't say it. Then don't say it.
Well, let's just speak in words.
No, say
Christian.
Say that's my name. It means something. I'll respond.
One thing I've never understood are the Santa Claus setups, the photo setups in shopping malls. Did you guys ever go and get your photo taken with Santa? Was that a thing?
We always used to go, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was Christmas Eve, but I'm pretty sure we used to go in our pajamas to Maya at night. Oh, maybe it was in our pajamas. I don't know. I guess I was so young, it's hard to remember some of this stuff. But yeah, no, we used to
Then
go to...
why did you say it?
Because there's something floating around in my brain about wearing pajamas in Maya's.
Josh would have had a good pair of pajamas as well. He loves his pajamas.
Yeah, Christian would be in Maya's buck naked. Just running around. But yeah, we used to get the photo and it was very much just, sit on the lap, take a photo with Santa. That's about it.
Wait, so you don't talk to him?
I'm sure he asked you, what do you want for Christmas? And you go, some blank DVDs.
But that's the thing. It'd be so strange for that guy. Would he feel like he's ripping children off? Because the kids kind of jump up thinking, this is Santa Claus. I really need to think here. What do I want for Christmas? And you say to him, oh, listen, I really want a remote control car. And he go, well, I'm sure your mum will give you... Does he have to speak to the parents afterwards and say, listen, he wants a remote control car?
No, I don't think there's a debrief that Santa does at Maya.
I reckon they're probably top blokes who are like, if they ask for something expensive, they're like, oh, that's very expensive. I don't know if I could afford that or something like that.
Oh, it'd be really funny if Santa was like, the kid's like, I want a red fast car for Christmas. Well, you're definitely going to get that, aren't you? You're a very good boy. I'm going to speak to your parents and get them to purchase it for you on the spot.
Did you go to get your photo taken, Santa?
Well, yes, Josh.
Santa Cholaro. Christian, did you ever go and get your photo taken with Santa at a department store or otherwise?
I did go and get my photo taken with Santa, but I think as a child I was a big crier.
Very big, presumably.
Yeah, so I would sit on Santa's lap and just cry the entire time until
And he'd start sweating. God, get this heavy kid off me. Okay, Timmy, all right. You're up next. Go and sit on Santa's lap.
All right, thanks, Mum. Hi, Santa.
Hi, Timmy. How are you going?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty excited to be here at Chatston Shopping Centre. It's fucking beautiful around here.
Timmy!
That's quite a filthy mouth that you've got, little boy.
Oh, sorry, Santa.
Sounds like you've been a naughty boy this year.
Oh, I've been all right, haven't I, Mum? Like, I've gotten around a bit, but no, there's nothing else that I've done much bad wrong.
Yes, Santa, he's been pretty good this year.
When he says been around, what is he referring to?
Oh, don't worry about it, Mum. Santa, I was wondering, I want a big red motorbike cycle.
I think that a big red motorbike cycle won't fit in my sack, unfortunately, Timmy. Can you think of something a little bit smaller?
Oh, yeah, I guess maybe a 120cc one?
How about a remote control car?
Yeah, that'll do. You have to add padding to that. It's a pretty shit gift from Santa. I was thinking that in my bedroom, I really like sleeping in, and I have these shitty Venetian blinds that let the sun in, and I don't know what to do.
Well, I'll put a special call into Victory Curtains and Blinds just for you, my son.
Is that 131399?
66.
My bad. I've got dyslexia. Can you fix that?
Of course I can, son. Or nos. Now, my son, I will give you one more present for Christmas.
What about some headphones, like some Bose noise-cancelling headphones? Mum and Dad are bloody loud, especially late at night.
Timmy, you told us you were asleep.
I was asleep, but I keep on getting interrupted.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Timmy, but maybe we'll have to buy you some earmuffs. Those Bose headphones are very expensive, aren't they, Santa?
Well, it depends. What can you hear so late at night, Timmy?
Oh, it's just random noise and screaming. I don't know what they're up to. I thought they said they were going to sleep. But anyway, Santa, I really just want to be with my family. I think that's the most important thing about Christmas. Can you promise me that, please?
I can't promise you anything, Timmy. Unfortunately, looking at your mum, it's more than likely that she's going to be leaving you pretty soon.
All right, well, thanks, Santa. I really appreciate it. I'm going to hop off your lap here. God, you're huge, Santa. Are you Italian or something?
For me, Christmas, there's been this real divide between Christmas as a child and Christmas as an adult. And so our family, it's our nuclear family plus my cousins and uncle from my mum's side. That's generally... What's funny about the word nuclear family?
The idea of a nuclear family should be banned. It should be prohibited.
There's been this shift and change over time where our Christmas Day, I remember when we were always the kids at the Christmas event, and now as the years have gone on, more children have been born and added to the family. I'm on the adult side of that now. So I'm placing myself now in the shoes of my cousins who were adults back then.
So it's been really interesting, like celebrating Christmas the last 5 years with my girlfriend's family, because they're from Eastern Europe, they're from the Czech Republic, and they celebrate Christmas the day before. That's a thing. That's a thing that they do.
It's a lot of Europe does that.
Yeah, a lot of Europe, a lot of sort of continental Europe. But it's been so interesting because they don't have a turkey; they have a carp as the sort of centerpiece of the food. So her stepdad will go out, fish for the carp, bring it back, and
he fishes it himself.
Yeah, he's a big fisherman.
Oh wow!
And there's this tradition where
Hang on, wait a second. He's a big fisherman.
He's a big fisherman,
And you've always wanted to go fishing.
yeah, and I haven't gone with him yet, and I need to. And we arranged to do it last week, and we didn't get in contact with each other.
Yeah.
No,
Did he
I
not
really
respond
wanted
to
to.
your
No,
text
no.
message? So he'd fish out a big carp.
Fish out a big carp, and then they put it in the bath. They fill up the bath with water, and then
What?
it's got this.
Is it still alive?
Yeah, it's still alive. They've got a mud vein
So
in it,
he Rex hunts it, keeps it alive.
and they've got he's just kissing it in the bath the whole time. And then it's got this mud vein that you put it in clear water, and finally this mud vein clears out, and they murder the fish. But the thing about this fish is, it's a carp, and it's the rat of the sea, meaning its taste very bad, and it's got the most incredible number of bones in it. It's not an eating fish.
Well, why have they picked the carp?
I don't know. I guess it was a common rat fish in the Czech Republic.
It's easy to get, so
Yeah,
everyone
it's
can have it.
very easy to get. It's very accessible.
But I'll pick you up on something. You keep going on about the Christmas turkey, and I don't know about you, Christian, but that is very much an American thing.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, we don't have
So,
turkey
so do you
ever.
have a centerpiece
Could
food?
I guess what you have, Josh?
Yeah.
Christmas ham,
Yep, that's on there.
potatoes,
Yeah, absolutely.
pumpkin,
Yeah.
baked beans on toast,
That's a breakfast.
Vegemite,
Christian, what do you have?
Tim Tam,
Just
buffalo.
and 50 panettones to round off the meal.
That's our seat.
But we have roast chicken as well. It's just a huge spread. It's great. It's a great meal. But going back to talking about gifts, we had a family friend called Michael Eva who used to have Christmas with our family. So he was just this sort of old recluse, pretty much. He was loaded, apparently.
Big white beard.
But he was just a strange recluse, lived in this like rundown house. Apparently it was loaded with all this money, but just lived, his house, it was literally, I remember I went there once, I never forget the smell. It was this musky smell, and it was one of those houses, it was not far off those hoarders shows. Like and there was just stacks of books and all this stuff everywhere. You're like walking through these things, I'm like, who is this guy? So he used to have Christmas with our family because he didn't have any family of his own. And the great thing, so I have two brothers, so there's three boys, and he would buy us gifts, but inevitably, 100% every single year, he would get one for two of us and not the other, and it would just randomly rotate who missed out. And he had
so
no
strange.
idea. He just had no idea.
Did he maybe think there were only two of you?
Do you have some cousins that don't remember you? I have a couple that do not ever remember me. It sounds like he's from the same family.
No, he just was really aloof. Like the kind of gifts he got as well. So, as a great example, I remember one year. Hey, Eden, here you go. Have a yo-yo. Great gift. Hey, Josh, here's something you'll love. A book of native art from the Pacific. A huge tome of like this just art book of Pacific art and statuettes. And I was like, great, thanks, Michael. Love that, don't I? And Mum's
so
like,
strange.
it's okay, we'll sort something out about it later.
At least, Josh, you received bad gifts from someone who wasn't even part of your family. And I can safely say it sounds like Michael has passed on.
Yes, yes.
You very quickly used his full name.
Yeah, it was odd. I've never heard
Well,
someone
no,
refer to...
it was one of those people that we always referred to him as Michael Eva.
Oh, Michael Eva, welcome to our house.
Yeah, no, but it was weird. Like, no, don't think I ever referred to him as Michael. It was always Michael Eva.
Did you ever call him like Unky Eva or Unky Mick or?
Nope, not in a cartoon. So
I don't know why Unky either. I just think that's what Australians say to each other.
Unky?
Unky and
Unky Dory.
What do you...
I don't know.
What do you call...
Zio.
Zio is
Zio.
aunt or uncle?
Uncle. But speaking of Zio, so
Is this Dion's friend from before?
Out of space. Zio and Zano. It's funny being an adult now and looking back on the gifts that I received as a kid, because I remember there was one particular uncle who used to give us pretty good gifts growing up. But now looking back on those gifts, I go, hang on a second. If I was an adult at that time, I would have gone, geez, that guy's an absolute cheapskate.
What's an example of one?
Well, for example, I was given Harry Potter, The Chamber of Secrets, but burnt on DVD.
That is incredible.
But it was broken into 5 discs.
CDs, not even DVDs.
And they were broken as well.
And I only had disc 1 through 4.
What is he doing?
So my uncle was like the first in the family to learn how to use a computer.
And they were burnt as well.
Yeah. He was the first to learn how to use a computer. And he just, year after year, burnt us movies and then video games. But we all loved it because we were like, yes, a DVD.
We got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's really interesting because one of my gifts from my uncle, which was we were completely fine with, it was just the done deal and it was something we used, and it was great because it was a clear definition of the technology changing. From Paul, it always used to be blank VHSs, and then as time went on, we got onto blank CDs.
Yes.
And then as we went on again, it became blank DVDs. And this was over the span of 15, 20 years.
And now?
Small hard drives.
Blank?
Yeah. The other thing we used to do as a family was go to the boulevard to the Christmas lights. So here in Melbourne, there is a stretch of road where all the houses get massively done up with Christmas lights. And it's awesome. And then people go through and file through and look at the lights. And you can either drive through it or you can walk through. It's become way more commercial recently because I go recently now with my girlfriend the last few years. It's just a nice, nice
So you
night
still
wander
go?
through. Yeah. So I don't, same as Santa things, we used to go in our pajamas and we'd sit in the car and you drive through the boulevard and look at them. Now I'm just normally clothed and I walk. But there's all these, it's been completely commercialized now where there's people selling like glow sticks and like lightsaber things and stuff.
Oh, that's not too bad. I thought when you said commercialized, it's like sponsored by Mirabella, like the house is sponsored by Mirabella. But do you appreciate it? Like, what are these people doing, decorating?
No, what's fascinating is one year, this is, must have been last year, we were walking along and we stopped at this one house. Like, oh, that's really cool. I like it. They've done some interesting stuff with shadows and form or something. And there was a guy nearby just floating around. And we sort of stopped there having a chat, and he sort of sidles over, and he's like, "Oh, what do you think of this one?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, it's great. I really like it's quite unique in this way." He's like, "Oh yeah, this is mine." I'm like, "Oh wow, cool." And he proceeded to tell us the whole story because he just moved in, so we got the inside word on how it works. And what I love though is he's just floating around, eavesdropping on people.
But that's literally the only reward that he can get.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
What is the purpose of doing that?
This is it. It's an awesome dad project.
Yeah.
So he loved it. And he was like, I went and got this and I thought this. Apparently they get energy subsidies from the council because they have to run their lights every night.
What do you think of that, Christian?
That's fine.
Why?
Because
It's making people happy. It's a community thing.
and the
For
thing
like a
is-
night. And it's
no, it's not a
poisoning the
night.
earth.
It's like a month.
Yeah.
It's like
It's
all
a
of
month.
December.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what it is as well, they have to, if you move in there, it is known that you have to do that. So there's like neighborhood meeting kind of thing of you have to be part of the lights if you're going to be moving here. So he was loving it. And what was great, so we chatted to him for a few minutes. Then his wife comes out and you can see she's just fed up. She's just like,
great.
you can't get cars in and stuff like that and all these other things. She's like, yeah.
Because they would have had a discussion at one point in time where they were about to move house, and he would have put his 2 cents forward and said, "Yeah, I reckon we move to the boulevard."
No, I really don't think that's a good idea. Why would we want to move there? It's near the Yarra River. There's
beautiful
mosquitoes.
spot.
There's rats.
Beautiful spot. Just
you
great
don't-
community feel.
But you don't want to move there. They've got that light thing every month.
Yeah, that light thing. Yeah. Oh, I don't think they do that anymore.
No, but I don't want hundreds of people outside my house for a month, day after day, year after
I'm
year.
pretty sure we can apply for an exception.
Really? All right. Well, let's do it then.
Now it's time for Ho Ho of the Week.
Ho ho.
Ho ho.
Ho Ho. In 2013, Nelson Mandela became the first person to be named Santa Claus of the Year by the Prime Minister of Greenland.
Ho ho.
Ho ho.
Ho ho ho.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've done a few Kris Kringles at work in my time, and I really don't like them and don't get a lot of them. So much so that my current workplace, they said, "Oh, we're doing the Kris Kringle, Josh, do you want to do it?" And I just straight up went, "Nah, don't want to
Really?
do it." And they're like,
Opted
"Really?"
out.
I was like, "Yeah, I don't get much from them." And not in like a physical sense. It's like I don't get, because inevitably it's like, oh, it's $20-$30.
Yep.
I'm just going to give that person something who I probably don't know that well.
Yep.
Something, and someone who doesn't know me that well is going to get me
Yep.
something. And the worst thing is they're using this website that sort of you put all the names in and then it sends out text messages to everyone. But the worst thing is it has a wish list on there. So you just put in these things you want, and I'm like, you might as well just go and buy it yourself. If you're going to spend $30 on that person, they're going to spend $30 on you, just go and get it yourself.
Gift registries have come to Kris Kringle.
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
It's just killing the fun.
But even using an app to send out the messages for Kris Kringle, just write your names on a bit of paper.
Each one
what
take
is
one out of the
going
hat.
on?
Yeah, I know. And so, because my experiences with Kris Kringles, there was one where I really didn't know the guy. So I saw him like every fifth shift or something. So I got him a large block of Toblerone. So I was like,
That's a good
that's
gift.
fine. Didn't
Nope.
know what it-
I reckon that's a shit gift.
No, it's not.
What are you going to
Because
get someone
what
you
else
don't
are
know,
getting?
mate?
First of all, how do you even eat a Toblerone? They
Oh,
don't-
okay. Here you go. You know how it's the triangles?
Yeah.
And you know how you normally snap them off? You're actually meant to snap it into it.
What?
You push the end one into the one behind it. It's like a little snapper thing, and it snaps it and stops it.
Oh.
Actually, speaking of Toblerones and speaking of chocolate, there was something that I missed out on when we were speaking of Tim Tams. The reason why Tim Tams are contained in plastic is to separate the biscuits from each other. It's not to withhold the freshness.
It could be multi-purpose.
No, it's not multi-purpose.
Separate them because they're chocolate covered and they won't stick together.
Because you hold a Tim Tam for like 30 seconds and it's all over your hand. It's to
okay.
separate them. It's not for freshness. you
Explain a
idiots.
TV snack then, because TV snacks are chocolate coated, come in a bag. Explain that one, Dion.
Different manufacturing techniques.
Both are nuts.
I agree wholeheartedly with you, Josh. I hate Kris Kringle. I remember I've had one experience with Kris Kringle in a workplace. So we're given a $25 limit, and I was racking my brain for what to get these people. And I was given my boss, and I was only there for a couple of months. And I was like, what do I get for my boss
That's a lot of
for
pressure.
$25? So
That he wants.
that he wants. So I thought like really, really long and hard about it. And I somehow landed. Now, this isn't what I'd get now, but I landed on a office table tennis set because basically you set it up on your desk in the office and you can, because they used to have great Friday
Kind
night
of
beers.
cute. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Bit of a joke gift.
Use it once, throw it out.
Yeah, that. Well, even if it was that, at least they used it once. That's where I landed, and we did the Kris Kringle. We all gave each other gifts. I ended up being given the gift back from my boss. He came up to me and was like, "Oh, you know what? You can have this."
What? Did you say you weren't working there for long?
Yeah.
But what did you get for your Kris Kringle? Who gave you?
Yeah, I got a really good gift.
Really?
I got a Bluetooth speaker.
That's not $25.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a really cheap one, but it's been great. I've used it almost every single
God.
week since.
Because I had similar issues again with the limit. So it was like $20, and I literally pulled out a name of someone. I didn't know who it was. I had to ask other people, like, who is this person? They're like, oh, it's so-and-so. So I go, just going to get $20 Village voucher. Village Cinemas, get a voucher, put it in. That was the limit. There you go. Kris Kringle comes at the Christmas party. Leave my gifts on the table. There's mine. Oh, okay, let's see what I've got. $20 Village Cinemas voucher.
Really?
Exactly the same thing back to me. So someone went, I don't know Josh very well at all. I'll get him a voucher as well.
Is there anything sacrilegious in giving someone a voucher for Kris Kringle?
I think for Kris Kringle, it's okay because it's like, well, at least you're probably going to get value. It's so general and generic. And I think someone may prefer that to a joke gift that they would never use. Because if you just get a joke gift, you're like, yeah, thanks for that. Whereas if it's got actual value, you would actually use it.
So it's the most polite way of giving someone cash. It's saying, I've thought about you 1% more
Yeah.
than giving you a bill of cash.
I've given you a region or an area that I think you're interested in. You like, hey, here's JB voucher. You like DVDs?
I think that when you get to the point of exchanging vouchers with each other, you may as well stop giving each other gifts.
Yeah.
Especially when you're both giving each other village vouchers.
Yeah. Because the big thing for me is, as we've discussed in earlier patches, that I like, you start curating a list as the time goes on over the year that you go, that this person would like that. And it's all people close to you because and you think of something going, awesome, that'll be perfect for them. When you're just buying for a stranger, essentially... Mind you, maybe this is coming from a guy who just doesn't take an interest in his workmates' lives.
No. It's ultimately thoughtless consumerism, and then you sort of get bogged down on thinking that, and you kind of go, well, why am I doing this? What's the purpose of this?
And that's why I was so proud of myself to actually reject the Kris Kringle this year, going, I'm still going to have a great time. And then I thought what I could do is, if they're all exchanging gifts at the Christmas party, I could just buy something for myself and unwrap it there. I go, hey guys, got one myself as well. I got exactly what I wanted. Thank you so much for my $25 limit.
Really, really good. You know what's really, really good? Really, really good. You know what's really, really good?
You know what's really good? When the biggest present under the tree has your name on it.
Really good. Really good. Really good. Do you know what's really good? A fast-moving queue at the Myers windows.
Really good.
Really good.
Do you know what's really good? Being Jewish and missing 26 years worth of Christmas presents.
Really good. Really good. Really good.
You know what's really good? When you unpack the Christmas lights from last year and they still work.
Oh, really good. Really good. Really good. Do you know what's really good? Free gift wrapping.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good.
Really good. Do you know what's really good? Being Jewish and not giving a shit about Christmas.
Really good.
Really good. So really sad to be.
Thank you for listening to this Christmas special of Welcome to Patchwork. It's been lovely having you. We hope you enjoy Christmas with your family and friends, and we hope that you're following us on your favourite podcast app and also on social media on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. I sewed a patch this week, but Josh, what did you sew this week?
My patch this week, my Christmas patch, was Michael Eva giving me a $20 voucher for some South Pacific tribal art. And Christian, what patch did you sew in the Christmas quilt this week?
Well, into the Christmas quilt, I sewed you, Josh, opening a Kris Kringle gift, which was a burnt CD of Santa Claus and the Rudolph Deer's greatest hits. Dion, what did you sew into this Christmas quilt?
Into my Christmas quilt, I sewed Josh's parents loudly wrapping his presents in his room on Christmas Eve while Josh sleeps through the whole fucking thing. Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So, Santa, what
Yes.
I'd really like is I'd like you to act as a guarantor for a house that I want to buy. Do you think you can organise this house? It's in Brighton. It's quite expensive, but why not?
Is it an investment property?
Yeah, it's an investment property, but Mum and Dad don't know anything about that stuff.
Are you negatively gearing the property?
I'm negatively gearing, yeah.
Santa, I can't afford to get him a house for Christmas, okay?
Oh, shut up, Mum, you rat bag.
I'm doing an aside to Santa. You can't hear this, Timmy, okay?
Fuck off, Mum.
Timmy!
Yeah,
You
Timmy.
pack your bags and you go home.
All right, Mum, let's go back to Brighton now.
Well,
I guess you best be off, little boy.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Santa. This has been really shit.